Hi guys, welcome to another Seasons in Garden video. I'm doing this again in my home because I've been sick again for the last week. I'm still not at 100%, so I didn't manage to finish up the propagation station in the garden because, well, I spent the week in bed. Therefore, not a lot of stuff to finish. I mean, this summer and these bits of autumn has just been completely nuts this year because it's either raining or I'm sick. So the progress on everything is so slow. I was planning to do a lot of projects, some woodworking projects, some propagations, some garden cleanup, setting up the propagation station as I call it, which is actually garden cleanup to be honest. And yeah, most of my plans have really fallen flat this year simply because of the weather and health situation. So I'm very sorry, but I hope that finally my luck is going to change and that it will be nice weather and I'll be healthy and I'll be able to finish what I have started. Yeah, everything's just been messed up this year and well, so I will just do the stuff that I can do, and that is, for instance, going to be a whole bunch of propagation right now. A little bit of story time. So all this stuff that I have here, I have picked at my friend's house because they have bushes around the perimeter of their yard that are mostly sporia, so meadowsweet, a little bit of this really thin-leaved cherry laurel, and yeah, this is like mostly various versions of sporia. And something that I wanted for now for a very, very long time is this Ligustrum variegata. I don't think that it's a aureum, I'm not sure, but it's, anyway, it has this yellow variegation to its leaves. And it's definitely ligustrum because the stems are not the color of the leaves. Now this looks very similar. These look very similar to Euonymus or Eonymus as we call it, but the difference is in the stem. Now I wish I had a Eonymus. I'm going to pronounce it how I pronounce it, sorry. Stem to show you, but the difference and how you know that it's ligustrum and not Eonymus is because the stem here near the top isn't the color of the leaves. It's actually like a standard gray, I don't know if you see, but gray brown color of the ligustrum stem, so it looks more like wood. It looks like wood, to be honest. Whereas if this were Euonymus or Eonymus, the stem would be the color of the leaves. So for instance, in these variegated versions that have like yellow variegations at the top, the stem is the same color as this yellow variegation in the case of Euonymus. So you would actually see the stem as bright yellow, or for instance we have one here that has white variegation, so the stem at the top is white and then it starts going into the dark green. Yeah, so this is something, this variegated ligustrum is something that I really wanted, or privet, for quite a while, and unfortunately my neighbor's ligustrum here has suffered the blight damage and is barely holding on to its life still. This is like 2 years later, so I didn't want to, take any cuttings from it, nor ask neighbor, because I wasn't even sure if the bush is completely healthy yet, because it's still looking pretty scarce. It's looking better this year, but this blight really shook it to the core. So my friend had this privet bush that was super healthy, looking excellent, and they want to take it out, like completely remove it. So as the rest of the bushes, all of this material they want to remove from their garden, all of the established bushes. So I said, okay, can I have a snips and can I just run around and take whatever I want? And she said, yeah, sure, of course. So I went on a pillage round around her garden and I pillaged some cuttings. And now I'm going to propagate them. So the privets and the good old cherry laurels, I'm just going to propagate in the water. Simply because the propagation station isn't yet done. It should be done in a couple of weeks. Possibility is that by that time these will already have an established roots, so I will be able to transplant them directly in the garden unless we have really strong frosts coming up. In case that we do have frosts, then they're going to stay indoors until the spring and heavy frosts have passed. And yeah, so I will just transplant them to the propagation station in the springtime. And as usual, what I'm doing is just scouting below the leaf node, sticking it into the water and forgetting about it for next, I don't know how many weeks. It depends. I mean, these are actually quite tall cuttings. Usually this works best with the green cuttings, but if nothing happens in a couple of weeks, I will just plonk it into the ground and it should be fine. Right. And now the same for this cherry laurel. As you can see, it's actually a narrow leaf type. I have more broad leaf type. This one has a bit smaller leaves, and basically that's why I took it, because it has smaller leaves, so it will be a different version. A different version of the same bush. And I'm going to add it. I should put this over here, because that's my beverage and not the plant's beverage. See? Look at this. These are very thin. Okay, I think I've done all of them now. Yeah, but this is why I'm putting it into the like this, because I like the way that it looks. I think I already mentioned it, that I like the way that it looks in the winter time. Maybe I take some more branches, because I have to also propagate some normal privets from my garden, so I will probably just stick them into the same bowl and leave it there. Alright, so now that that's done, allow me to do a quick change of the scenery. Okay, excuse me for bumping the camera, but right, we are now going to talk about Sparia. I have to admit I haven't yet propagated any Sparia, and that's why I haven't done this as sort of a leaflet video, because leaflet videos I do with stuff that I propagate normally. But I did read upon it, so this is something that we're going to try together. Which reminds me, a little update when it comes to my last project that was growing the Achillea Alchemilla mollis from seeds. Uh, there's a good news and a bad news. So one of these is fine. It just hasn't grown anything yet because they do need stratification. So that's something that I read wrong. I thought that they don't need stratification. And the other, what's it called? The other pot was gardened by my cat. And yeah, her, you know, avant-garde fertilization methods are not really something that the plants like, and most of the pot ended up, most of the soil together with the seeds, with everything, just ended up all over the balcony floor. So one is going, but it will only grow in the spring, and the other one you can forget about it because the cat. I still love them. So now when it comes to the Sperea, what it said is to remove all of the leaves because these are now hardwood cuttings. So for hardwood cuttings we remove all of the leaves, and then clip below the node, clip somewhere else, and you stick it to the ground. As per usual, I am not using any hormones because I don't have any hormones and I'm too lazy to check whether or not there is some that's available. Yeah, my mom didn't really use a lot of hormones in the propagation. She did have a lot and usually forgot to use it. So that's why I'm just not really, you know, for me it's fine. These are all free plants. I'm not paying for them. The biggest payment was the fact that we went to the friends that we wanted to go to anyway, and I have just gathered some cutting material. So I don't care if none of it works, I don't care if some of it works, and I don't care if all of it works. I would love if all of it would work. Although I'm constantly planning on 60 to 70% success rate because I'm not using hormones. So the rooting hormone can really help to bring the success rate above 80%, even close to 90%. You shouldn't never, actually even with the hormones, you never should calculate with a 100% of the success rate. It's always nice if it is 100% success, but not really possible if you ask me. But yeah, I mean, if you have a rooting hormone, as always, make sure to use it. And if, of course, if you want to use it, I don't care about it and I'm not going to use it, so I don't use it. Also, since I was sick, like the day after, I wanted to actually make this video much sooner, but I got the cold from her toddler and my immunity is worse, officially now worse than that of toddlers. I just plugged them into the water so that they stay alive and I didn't even have the strength to remove the leaves. That's why I'm cutting quite a bit off the bottom because the bottom isn't in the best condition. Now, if you use the rotting hormone or not, you just need to make sure that the nodes of the leaves are below the soil. And also what you can do, and in this case it will help, is to score the, I should probably do it for all of them, just, you know, damage the bark a bit. It will help it, may help it, may cause it to grow the roots out of damaged area. Don't scrape all of it, just a little bit of damage, right? So I'm now going to do all of these because these are actually spiraeas. Even this one is spirea, I've checked. It should be odorata or something like that, I'm not sure. Because, you know, when you're taking bushes from a yard that the owners have just bought the house and the last owners have actually, previous owners have actually planted the bushes, of course you don't know what the hell you're getting. So, I don't care. Free plants. I know the species, others don't know the variety, so I'm not going to be disappointed if it's not exactly what I hoped it would be. Because free plants. And I have 4 times as much garden as I have right now. And yeah, there's no way that I can fill it up with, you know, I mean, I could buy the plants, but honestly, with building the house and everything, there's no way that I have that much amount of money. I got a cool job, but not that good. That was easy. Okay. Okay, so I have yet another one. I think this is also meadowsweet or spirea. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I like the leaves, so I said why not. Yeah. If you're wondering when will I start with a new garden, I will start with it when we have the official building license that we have to get, which is something that it's not going to happen that soon. And after we broke the ground and the house is set in place, because we are using one of those ready-made houses. Montage houses? I'm not sure. One of those that are building a hospital in a factory and then they just flop it into the spot where it's being built so that the heavy machinery is out of the garden. I had already talked to the guy that is going to do all of the groundwork, and he's going to also do the terraces for the garden like right away, so the structure of the garden will be done quite fast. Everything will be done as the foundation for the house is being built, which is good because this means that I won't have an issue with, you know, hiring out the machinery and the job later on with some subcontractor, and then it will just end up being more expensive than it would be if I were to do it all right now. So that's most likely going to happen next spring, and I'm guessing that I will start to plant the first plants in that garden around April or May. I'm not sure, but something like this. I will see how it will go, and then, it's just, it'll take some time. I don't think that we will be in that house before 2025, simply because of the amount of work that needs to be done, and we don't have the package, like package in which you just get the house keys and everything is done inside. So before moving there, I will have to do some work inside the house as well. Like, I'll probably do a little bit of tiling, but I will have to set up all of the floors, and the floors are going to be most likely vinyl or something like that. Vinyl? I'm not sure how to properly pronounce it. But yeah, so this is something that I will have to do, and yeah, also drywalling. This will be one of my jobs that I will have to do. So it will take some time, because I have a full-time job. I work from 7 to 5 because I'm a workaholic and an idiot, and I like to work a lot. Not the healthiest when you are struggling with your health, because probably overworking does not do me very well. But yeah, I get super frustrated if I'm not able to work, and then you get stress from being stressed because you can't work, and then it all gets even worse. But due to all this stuff, it's not really going to be a fast process of going into the house and going to the new property, so it will take a while, at least a year. It would be nice if we were to start living there before next Christmas, but there's really good chance that that's not going to happen, simply because of everything that needs to be done. I'm not really thrilled about it. I'd much rather be in the new house and the new garden and having my hands in dirt every day and not having to walk 2 kilometers to get to the garden, because currently we're living in the flat and we are renting out the garden. So I cannot go there every single day. In case I'm not feeling well, I cannot just run outside for 15 minutes and do some work and then, be done, because it's 20-minute walk, 15 to 20 minutes walking time, and then, you get there and you work and then you have to go back. And what's worse is we are on the hill and the garden is down the hill. I wish the situation was different, because then after I'm done in the garden, I could just roll down the hill to the flat path. No such luck. It's really not that, fun when you're working in the garden all day and brutally exercising because of all of the weeds that you have to pull, the invasive weeds. And then after like a couple of hours of working in the garden, because as I mentioned, I tend to overwork even in the garden, then you have to go back home and walk up the hill. Oh man. it's really not fun. It's just awful, awful, awful. But I still love it because I like gardening, and yeah, it provides a stress release. And usually I pull the weeds the best when there was like a stressful day at work. It means that I just pull the whole border of the weeds in like 1 hour, because usually that's when my garden neighbors look at me weird, because you just see my head down and weeds that are going over my shoulders. Looks funny. And a lot of cursing. That's why I don't really video myself pulling weeds, because boy oh boy, do I have foul mouth in that moment. Okay, so now that the spireas are done, I don't know exactly what they are. I know that this is one of those white spireas, and that this is most likely odorata or Korean spirea, I'm not sure. But one more thing that I have that I'm going to put in this pot is going to be this. So this is most likely due to the seed pods. Golden Comet Paris. I didn't really, or false cypress. I am not sure that I'm going to use this in the garden, but I'm going to try to propagate it still, because I'm obsessed with the look of leaves. But I would much prefer Thuja or yeah, Arborvitae. Hopefully I have pronounced that well. But yeah, I will just pluck in a couple of them just in case. I'm not sure. I'm completely not confident in propagating them. So since they're free, I'm just going to plug them in, and then we'll see what will happen. But I'm also going to try and get some Thuja, or as we call them, Tuya, branches, so that I can propagate the Tuyas as well for the front of the house. I've been doing some research, and I think that for the north side of the garden, I will actually use junipers. I do love junipers, and I kind of forgot about them. Kind of. I love this smell. So I'm going to just try and plop a couple of these leafy stuffs. Leaves, I'm not sure. It's not leaves. It's not kind of branches, I guess. Side branchy thingy leafy stuff. And we'll see what will work or what not. Like I said, I'm not really stressing about it, because I don't care if it doesn't work. These were free, so it doesn't have to work. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, oh, who cares? I didn't pay for them anyway, so... Alright, I think that's it when it comes to this little ranting, talking, vlogging, whatnot video. I'm going to now make sure that this is nicely watered, and I'm going to cover it with this and put it on the window in the so-called cat's room, and I hope that she will stay away and not try to garden. If I get some tuya branches, then I'm going to put them over here. It's basically the same principle as for Kametsparis because they are similar plants. Basically, you take this one, you remove the leaves that you didn't do on several of them, and then you put it into the ground, and that's... I can put this one into the ground because I have already prepared it. And... okay, I can do this properly. At last, my plants have come along. Okay, this one. Yes, yes, yes. Now grow, my precious, grow. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thank you for spending some time with me. I'm sorry I don't have anything super special and I don't know what this time, but it is what it is. I can't really garden when I'm sick, so this is all that I can do when it comes to the gardening right now. Hopefully next weekend I will be back into the garden and I will be finishing up some projects, like propagation station would really be nice to finish, so that I can propagate some more plants, because I need to propagate the peonies, I need to propagate the Sambucus nigrais. Multilingual moment, it will come to me. Elderberry. Yes, I have to propagate my elderberries. And what else? Roses. A whole bunch of stuff. There's a ton of plants that I really want to take with me. Some of them can be propagated now. So I want to use the time so that I can have the plants come springtime. Otherwise, others like lavenders I can propagate in the spring. So I will do that when the springtime comes, because I have pink lavenders, white lavenders and normal lavenders to propagate. So this is going to be fun. So we'll see a whole bunch of propagation in the upcoming times. I also have to propagate some more sedums, so a whole bunch of stuff that's gonna get propagated this and next year. And then you're going to, of course, see me plant it all or most of the stuff in the new garden. And yeah, I have to do a lot of gardening and infrastructure in that new garden, and I'm just happy that I don't have to do all of those terraces by myself. Anyways, that's it for today's rant. I hope that you have still enjoyed some time with me, and that maybe this little propagation experiment gives you some inspiration for your own plant propagations. Please make sure that you don't propagate the plants, especially those plants with R sign, for commercial purposes. And see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.